You. Freeze, you diseased rhinoceros.
We all remember the royal laughter of coming to America, but behind the glittering palace of Zamunda, shocking tragedies unfolded. Fame, scandal, secrets, and heartbreak haunted many of the beloved cast. What really happened to the stars behind the smiles? This isn't just Hollywood gossip. This is the untold story of legends. Buckle up. You won't believe how deep the rabbit hole goes. James Earl Jones as King Jaffe Joffer. He was the voice of kings, gods, and galactic tyrants. Yet few knew that behind James Earl Jones's thunderous presence was a childhood marked by silence, shame, and deep scars. Before he ruled Zamunda with wisdom and warmth in coming to America, James was a boy abandoned by his parents, too traumatized to speak for years due to a debilitating stutter. Growing up in rural Michigan, he endured racism, isolation, and pain that would have crushed lesser souls. But the very voice that once failed him became his superpower. Rediscovered in a high school classroom, his booming tone would soon echo through generations, as Darth Vader, Mufasa, and of course, King Jaffe Joffer. Still, life never softened for this legend. His first marriage ended quietly. His beloved second wife died of cancer. In his final years, James fought diabetes and lung complications, retreating from the spotlight as quietly as he once entered it. On September 9, 2024, the world lost more than an actor. It lost a monument. James Earl Jones passed peacefully at 93, leaving behind a $40 million legacy and a voice that will never die. From stutter to stardom, his life wasn't just inspiring, it was cinematic. John Amos as Cleo McDowell. To millions of viewers, John Amos was the embodiment of the hard-working American father. Loud, loving, stubborn, and proud. As Cleo McDowell in Coming to America, he wasn't just a fast food owner chasing McDonald's glory, he was the soul of Queens, sharp-tongued yet deeply devoted to his family. But behind that commanding presence was a life far more turbulent than the screen ever showed. Born in Newark, New Jersey, Amos built a career on resilience. From Roots to Die Hard 2, he became a pillar of black television, a man audiences trusted. Yet in his final years, that image shattered. In 2023, a bitter family conflict exploded into public view when his daughter accused her own brother of isolating and abusing their aging father. Investigations followed. Headlines turned dark. America watched in disbelief as one of its most respected TV dads became trapped in a heartbreaking real-life drama. On August 21, 2024, John Amos died quietly from congestive heart failure at 84. The most chilling part? His death wasn't announced immediately. His own daughter reportedly learned of it weeks later through the media. With a career spanning decades and a net worth of just $3 million, Amos left behind not Hollywood excess, but a legacy of grit, talent, and unresolved pain. His smile made us laugh, but his final chapter still haunts. Madge Sinclair as Queen Aeolian. She was the heart of Zamunda, elegant, poised, and quietly powerful. As Queen Aeolian, Madge Sinclair radiated dignity with every glance, every word. But behind the royal grace was a woman who spent much of her life fighting in silence. Born in Jamaica, Sinclair faced divorce, single motherhood, and near invisibility in Hollywood's early days. She raised 2 sons while clawing her way into the industry, often juggling menial jobs and bit parts just to survive. Her breakthrough came in Roots, and by the time she voiced Sarabai in The Lion King, she was a household name, yet still battling a private war. At the height of her career, Sinclair was diagnosed with leukemia. For 13 years, she kept working, kept showing up, kept shining, even as the disease slowly took its toll. When she died on December 20th, 1995, at just 57, it wasn't just a tragedy, It was a loss of one of the quietest warriors in entertainment history. Her ashes were scattered in her homeland, Jamaica. In 2000, the government honored her with the Order of Distinction. Estimated net worth? Just $2 million. But her real worth? Priceless. What do you remember most about Queen Aeolian's scenes? Her strength? Her silence? Drop your thoughts below. Let's honor the Queen together. Calvin Lockhart as Colonel Izzy. He stormed onto the screen with swagger, ambition, and a booming voice. Colonel Izzy, the power-hungry father determined to marry his daughter into Zamunda's royal bloodline. Calvin Lockhart played him with such intensity that audiences never forgot the man who tried to out-royal a king. But Lockhart's own road to royalty was long, winding, and filled with rejection. Born in the Bahamas, he left for New York at 18, chasing the dream with nothing but raw talent. To survive, he drove cabs and built furniture in a Queens workshop. Hollywood offered little to black actors in the 60s, so Lockhart went global: Italy, Germany, the UK, where he finally found roles worthy of his fire. Only then did America welcome him back. Still, his personal life remained unsettled. 3 marriages, 2 sons, and a final wedding in 2006, just 1 year before his death. On March 29, 2007, Lockhart died from stroke complications in his hometown. He was 72. His final film, Rain, was shot in the Bahamas, a full-circle ending to a life lived boldly, but not without heartbreak. Net worth? About $1 million. Legacy? One of cinema's most commanding presences. Did Colonel Izzy make you laugh or make your skin crawl? Louie Anderson as Maurice. He just wanted to be assistant manager. Louie Anderson's Maurice, with his goofy grin and pure heart, brought unexpected warmth to coming to America. A white guy flipping burgers in a black-owned restaurant, he didn't just fit in, he won hearts. But behind the laughs, a life haunted by childhood trauma and buried pain. Born the 10th of 16 children in poverty-stricken Minnesota, 5 of his siblings died at birth. His father, an abusive alcoholic. Louie turned his pain into punchlines, building a career as a stand-up comedian, TV host, Family Feud, and Emmy-winning actor Baskets. But behind the curtain, he was constantly guarding his private life. In the 90s, Anderson became the victim of an extortion plot, forced to pay hush money over a threatened public exposure of deeply personal details. The ordeal ended in FBI arrests and a high-speed chase, but the emotional wounds lingered. Quietly, Louie fought blood cancer for years. On January 21, 2022, he passed away in Las Vegas at 68. Just 3 days earlier, the public learned he was hospitalized. The world lost a gentle soul who made millions laugh, even while carrying invisible scars. Did Louie Anderson's Maurice remind you of someone real in your life? The friend, the co-worker, the one who dreams big but stays kind? Tag them below. They deserve the spotlight. Don Ameche as Mortimer Duke. He was only on screen for a moment, but when Don Ameche appeared as a homeless Mortimer Duke in Coming to America, fans of Trading Places screamed in delight. It was more than a cameo. It was cinematic revenge. But behind that smile was a story of fame, obscurity, and an unexpected second act. In the 1930s and 40s, Don Ameche was a Hollywood darling. He was so famous, people called telephones Ameches thanks to his role as Alexander Graham Bell. But when the spotlight dimmed, it dimmed hard. For nearly 30 years, he faded into forgettable roles and stage obscurity. Then in the 80s, out of nowhere, Trading Places. Ameche returned as a villain and audiences loved it. It led to Cocoon and an Oscar at 77, a comeback most actors only dream of. But even then, his private life was complicated. He stayed married for over 50 years, but was estranged from his wife at her death and didn't attend her funeral. His children remained close, though, caring for him in his final years. On December 6, 1993, he died of prostate cancer at 85. His net worth at death, $10 million, mostly from his early stardom and late-life resurgence. His legacy? Proof that even in Hollywood, comebacks are real. Ralph Bellamy as Randolph Duke. It was just a blink, and you'd miss it. But when Ralph Bellamy showed up as Randolph Duke, homeless and defeated beside his brother Mortimer, it became one of the most legendary cameos in movie history. It was funny, yes, but it was also poetic. Two titans of old-school cinema sharing one last inside joke with the audience. Ralph Bellamy had lived a life few could match. He ran away at 15 to join a theater troupe. By the 1930s, he was the go-to nice guy in Hollywood, the charming fiancé who always lost the girl. He was nominated for an Oscar in The Awful Truth, and later won a Tony for his powerful portrayal of FDR on Broadway. He played the long game, dignity over drama. But his personal life? Tumultuous. He was married 4 times before finding true peace with his last wife, Alice Murphy. They stayed together until the end. Bellamy's career slowed in the 1950s, but he never stopped working. He believed in craft, in character, in the slow burn of real artistry. On November 29, 1991, he died from chronic lung disease at the age of 87. His net worth at the time, $5 million. But to cinephiles, his legacy is priceless. Eddie Murphy as Prince Akeem Jaffer. He wore gold robes, spoke with royal grace, and crossed the globe to find true love in Queens. But Eddie Murphy wasn't just playing Prince Akeem, he was redefining what black stardom could look like. In 1988, at just 27, Murphy turned Coming to America into a global hit. But behind the laughs, fame, and box office records, his real story was far from a fairy tale. Murphy's father was murdered when Eddie was 8. His childhood unraveled, spent partly in foster care. By the time he hit the stage, his comedy was sharp, savage, and soaked in pain. He dominated the 80s, Beverly Hills Cop, Raw, The Nutty Professor, but controversy followed. He faced fierce backlash for homophobic jokes, a scandal with a transgender sex worker, and a string of paternity disputes, including one proven by DNA. And yet, he kept rising. In 2006, Dreamgirls earned him a Golden Globe and an Oscar nod. In the 2010s, he returned as a legend, not just a comedian. As of 2025, Murphy is 64, living with model Paige Butcher and their 2 children. He's worth around $200 million. But what's more valuable? His resilience. His ability to fall, be mocked, and still stand taller than ever. What was your favorite Eddie Murphy role? Akeem, Axel Foley, Donkey, or something else? Drop it below and tell us why. This man is Hollywood history. Arsenio Hall as Semi. He wasn't just Prince Akeem's sidekick, he was the comic spark that lit up every scene. Arsenio Hall's Semi was mischievous, loyal, and laugh-out-loud funny. But off-screen, Arsenio's real-life journey was far more dramatic and heartbreaking. In the early 90s, the Arsenio Hall Show was electric. He gave a platform to hip-hop, political voices, LGBTQ icons, and black culture like no other late-night host dared. Then, in 1994, it was over, canceled at its peak. And just like that, he disappeared. Whispers swirled. Blacklisted, addicted, silenced. The truth was simpler, but sadder. Arsenio walked away to raise his son, born in 1998. Fame had left him drained. Fatherhood saved him. Years later, he returned, briefly. In 2012, he won Celebrity Apprentice. In 2021, he reprised Semi in Coming to America, reminding fans he never lost his edge. But today, he lives quietly, rarely seen in public. He's not on every red carpet. He's not chasing clout, but make no mistake, without Arsenio, there'd be no Trevor Noah, no Steve Harvey, no black voice in late night. Did you used to howl woof, woof, woof like Arsenio's fans did? Shari Headley as Lisa McDowell. She was the girl a prince gave up a crown for, and Shari Headley played Lisa McDowell with such grace and quiet strength, it redefined the leading lady. In a world of flashy royalty and over-the-top characters, Lisa was real, grounded, and unforgettable. At just 24, Headley was chosen by director John Landis not for her fame, but because she wasn't famous. He wanted a fresh face, and she delivered something deeper, sincerity. But while Coming to America made her a star overnight, Headley didn't chase the Hollywood spotlight. Instead, she chose balance. In 1993, she married rapper Christopher Play Martin from Kid 'n Play. 2 years later, they divorced. She became a single mom and turned down major roles to raise her son. It cost her momentum in Hollywood, but she never looked back. Instead, she built a steady career: soap operas, dramas, courtroom shows, mother roles, cop roles. Headley became a familiar, beloved face on American television, and in 2021, when she returned as Queen Lisa in Coming Second America, she did it with grace, maturity, and the same kindness that once won Akeem's heart. As of 2025, she's 61, still working, mentoring young black talent, and known as one of Hollywood's quiet forces. Who was your favorite on-screen couple growing up? Did you root for Akeem and Lisa? Eriq La Salle as Daryl Jenks. He was slick. He was smug. He was unforgettable. With a hairstyle that could survive a hurricane, Eriq La Salle's Daryl Jenks wasn't the hero of Coming to America. He was the guy everyone loved to hate. But off-screen, La Salle's story is one of grit, depth, and quiet revolution. Before Daryl, La Salle was struggling, grinding through off-Broadway plays and one-note TV roles. He nearly quit acting, boxed in by stereotypes. But after Coming to America, everything changed. Not because he was the star, but because he proved he could own a moment, even as the villain. Then came ER. From 1994 to 2002, La Salle played Dr. Peter Benton, a brilliant, intense surgeon with layers of complexity. He didn't just break through, he redefined what a black male lead could be in American drama. 3 NAACP Image Awards followed. Hollywood had to take him seriously. But instead of chasing fame, La Salle pivoted. He became a director, a producer, a novelist. He shaped Law & Order, Chicago PD, CSI, and told the stories he once couldn't get cast in. As of 2025, he's 63, working behind the scenes with quiet power. His net worth? $25 million. His attitude? Still humble? Still sharp? Be honest. Did you cheer when Lisa dumped Daryl? Or secretly feel bad for him? Vanessa Bell Calloway as Imani Izzy. Bark like a dog, one line, one scene. And just like that, Vanessa Bell Calloway became a pop culture legend. As Princess Imani, trained her entire life to please a man she'd never met, she turned obedience into absurdity and gave us one of the most iconic moments in Coming to America. But the actress behind the bark? Fierce, talented, and a fighter in every sense. When she stepped into Imani's heels in 1988, Calloway was 31 and already a rising star. She could have been typecast forever as the beautiful side character, but she shattered that mold. Her career became a tapestry of powerful, complex women, roles in What's Love Got to Do with It, Crimson Tide, The Inkwell, and the hit series Saints and Sinners, where she reigned as Lady Ella, the queenpin of a southern megachurch. Off-screen, she faced battles few knew. A miscarriage left her grieving in silence. And in 2009, she was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer. She underwent 2 lumpectomies, followed by a full mastectomy and reconstructive surgery. But she never slowed down. As of 2025, she's 68, still radiant, still working, still inspiring. With a net worth of $6 million and a spirit forged in steel, Calloway remains one of the most enduring and soulful figures in Hollywood. Samuel L. Jackson as the hold-up man. He was on screen for less than 3 minutes, and yet he stole the entire scene. Armed with a shotgun, rage, and that now iconic stare, Samuel L. Jackson's robbery at McDowell's wasn't just a moment of chaos. It was a glimpse into the storm of a career about to explode. But what you didn't see? He was already fighting for his life behind the scenes. In 1988, when Coming to America hit theaters, Jackson was 39, broke, addicted, struggling. He worked security jobs and did stunt work just to eat. He was kicked out of the piano lesson, a play he helped build, because his drug use became too dangerous. It wasn't fiction. He was that close to losing everything. Then came rehab, then came Jungle Fever. Playing a crack addict while recovering from addiction was no act. It was a reckoning. That raw performance shocked Cannes and started a fire Hollywood couldn't ignore. Then came Pulp Fiction, Star Wars, The Avengers, Nick Fury, Mace Windu, Frozone. With over 150 films and $27 plus billion at the box office, he became the highest-grossing actor in history. But behind that swagger is a man who once kidnapped a college trustee in protest, who got warned by the FBI, who lived, crashed, burned, and rebuilt himself into a legend. As of 2025, Jackson is 76 and still working. His net worth, $250 million. His legacy, unstoppable. Did you recognize young Sam Jackson in that robbery scene, or did it blow your mind years later?